When Donald Trump is consistent on something, he's consistently inconsistent. And the stock market is a really good example of that. You can always count on Donald Trump to brag about how he's responsible for boosting the stock market on days that the stock market is up. You can also count on Donald Trump to either ignore the stock market altogether, or if he has to talk about it on a day when the stock market is down, blame it on someone or something else, never him. The stock market is very down lately. The Dow was down 1,000 points on Monday, 900 or so points on Tuesday, down a little more on Wednesday. And as of this recording right now, the Dow is down another 500 points today. This brings me no pleasure. You guys know, Republicans like to say the left is cheering for a bad economy despite Trump. No, you should have seen me looking up my mutual fund account last night, and it was bad. It was really, really bad, and it's getting even uglier now. So what does Donald Trump do? He says, oh, yeah, the stock market crashed all week because of the Democratic debate on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, hours after the stock market had already closed on Tuesday. Now, remember, the market tumbled on Monday, but the Democratic debate was Tuesday night. The market tumbled on Tuesday, but the Democratic debate was on Tuesday night. Are Trump's followers this stupid, or is he the one that's this dumb? Take a look at this.
Do you believe the number of fatalities? Mr. President. You mentioned the stock market earlier. To go back to that, to be clear, the Dow Jones dropped more than 2,000 points this week. Are you suggesting that was overblown? Are financial markets overreacting here?
I think the financial markets are very upset when they look at the Democrat candidate standing on that stage making fools out of themselves. And they say, if we ever have a president like this, and there's always a possibility, it's an election, who knows what happens, right? I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win by a lot. But when they look at the statements made by the people standing behind those podiums, I think that has a huge effect, yeah.
Isn't that just stunning that a president can say this and that there is not complete repudiation of the obvious absurdity of what Donald Trump is saying? Stocks crash Monday, and a Fox News guy named Charles Payne blamed it on Bernie winning the Nevada caucus on Saturday. Stocks crash Monday and Tuesday, and Trump blames it on an event that didn't happen until after that. After stocks had closed for trading those 2 days, the Democratic debate took place. I don't know who falls for this stuff, but somebody must, right? Because otherwise Trump wouldn't be able to get away with it. And then Trump just keeps blaming other people during yesterday's press conference, goes into talking about Barack Obama. And remember, this is a press conference, as we will later talk about coronavirus. And Trump is blaming Democrats for the stock market crash caused by coronavirus, and now goes into talking about Barack Obama.
What that is, because he's kept interest rates. President Obama didn't have near the numbers, and yet, if you look at what happened, he was paying zero. We're paying interest. Now, it's more conservative, and frankly, people that put their money away are now getting a return on their money as opposed to not getting anything. But I think, we're the greatest of them all. We should be paying the lowest interest rates. And when Germany and other countries are paying negative rates, meaning they're literally getting paid when they put out money. I mean, they borrow money and they get paid when it gets paid back. Who ever heard of this before? It's a first. But we don't do that. So I totally disagree with our Fed. I think our Fed has made a terrible mistake, and it would have made a big difference. As good as we've done, even without the 2,000 points, and we started off at 16,000 and we'll be at 28,000 without. We were going to crack 30,000. We have had increases like nobody's seen before, but we're doing well. But we have to watch. We're doing well anyway. In other words, even despite the 2,000 points, it sounds like a lot, and it's a lot, but it's not. It's very little compared to what we've gone up.
Obama was bad. Our Fed is bad, even though it's run by the person that he selected to run it. Everybody's terrible. Everything is to blame except for Donald Trump, who is great. And remember that even before this 2,000 plus point stock market tumble, Trump's stock market was already underperforming Barack Obama's. Those numbers are going to become even more skewed in favor of Barack Obama thanks to this crash, which I hate and take no pleasure in. I want to be really clear about that because we don't play those games on this show. I'm not rooting for the stock market to crash. I'm not rooting for the United States to fail. Believe me, ask my girlfriend. She knows what's going on with my investments, and this is very, very ugly. No matter who is president, I don't want our stock market to fail. But blaming Bernie's win in Nevada and the Democratic debate and the Fed, give me a break. Is Trump some kind of time traveler that things that happen after the majority of the crash are to blame for the crash? It's horrifying that this is considered an explanation from the president of the United States or an analysis to many of Donald Trump's followers. It does not bode well for our country that the president is even trying to say this stuff, obviously. Why does no one just say in the room, Mr. President, the things you're naming happened after the crash, not before. How is it possible that they are causally related? It's like saying a snowstorm that happened 2 days after a power outage is to blame for the power outage. How is that possible? How does that even make any remote sense? And of course, the bigger picture is that Trump is part of the market crash, but it's really larger fears, of course, about coronavirus, and we are not prepared to deal with it here in the United States. I really want to dig in more to this. We had a lot of reaction to yesterday's interview with Dr. Isaac Bogosh about coronavirus, and we have Trump's press conference from yesterday. He's putting Mike Pence in charge of coronavirus. The guy barely believes in science. So we'll talk about all of that coming up. For now, let me know your thoughts on Trump's stock market explanation. I'm on Twitter @DPakman.